Good morning and welcome to Herb Oracle Podcast, botanical divination with herbs, essences, flowers, and trees with your host, Herbal Marie. Let's start the day off pulling some oracle cards and getting a few messages. We can shoot the shiitake in a spiritual way-ish. And if you follow me on Instagram, I'll post a pic of the cards at Herb Oracle. Thanks so much for joining me. Here we go. Hey, what's up and welcome back to another week here at Herb Oracle. We got a new herb of the week, Vervain. All right, so it's definitely going to be a learning week for me. I have very, very little experience with Vervain, and I just actually had a laugh to myself. I was like, yeah, I've never even had the tincture of Vervain. And then part of me was like, really? Because isn't that what you bought your ex-husband one time and he took it once and did not like the way it made him feel? Like it made him feel weird and heady, and then you got stuck with it. And then, so I look in the cupboard. I do have a bottle of Vervain, and I've taken like half of it, over half of it. So like, I don't know why I completely like forgot that I had it here. So anyways, I have a tincture from Hawaiian Farm, and it has, it's in vodka and glycerin, and so it's not quite, and they even add a little water to it, so they actually make it a little bit more palatable. Oh, we're talking so good already. It's not quite as bitter and things like that. Of course, when you're paying that much for a tincture, I don't want you to put no water in it. So you can make your own. Now, I do remember clearly the first time I ever saw Vervain, Vervain, and some people call it blue Vervain, in the wild. I was driving on my mom's road, and I literally saw it in the ditch growing, slammed on the brake, hit it in reverse, backed it up. Could not believe it, because like, it was just, you know, that moment when you first see a plant. Have you ever had this moment? Like, I can remember the first time I saw St. John's wort, you know, and I can definitely remember the first time that I saw Vervain. So I snipped off the top of it and dried it and had it as a decoration for a year or two or whatever until it got so dusty. Because it was right by the road, and that's not where you want to harvest for medicine, but that is where it likes to grow. I mean, I got the same issue with St. John's wort. Like, it's like, don't harvest by the road because they spray pesticides. I know. But guess where it likes to grow? So it's always like, one of those moments. Now, if you can pay attention to when they spray pesticides, you can try to at least get it before they spray. But yeah, they spray the ditches every freaking year in Pennsylvania. So it's basically like a poisonous cesspool to harvest from. But sometimes I do anyways, if that's the only place that I can find St. John's wort. Now, I've actually never made Vervain tincture myself yet, because like I said, it's a relatively new plant for me. I've been talking all morning, you guys. So you're getting what's last, but that's okay, because I'm going to ride my excitement with Vervain. So it's good for type A people. You ever hear of that type A perfectionists? They just basically drive themselves crazy with anxiety, and they really want some quiet headspace. Blue Vervain is used for that. Amongst other things, you can use it as a tincture like I have, but you can also have it like a tea, and I'm assuming it's a bitter tea. Let's see, some people thought it was like a cure-all for everything. I got three nerdy cards in the nerdy folder, and then I have 4 oracle cards to hang out with you today. But because I just want to know all about it, like in a na way. Happy solstice, by the way. I just want to dive right into the nerdiness. So you can use it for abdominal pain, kidney stones, digestive problems, skin irritations, insomnia, restlessness, nerve pain, headaches, joint compress, for colds, Do not use it during pregnancy. It does induce uterine contractions. Also, large amounts of the herb reduce thyroid activity. So if you already have a low thyroid function, avoid regular use of Vervain tea. Let's see here. It's good for nervousness and stress-linked disorders. If you drink it at the first sign of a cold, if you drink 3 cups of Vervain tea a day, the tea may break up any congestion that's forming and prevent coughs. So what's in it? Tannins, bitters, other compounds that relieve gastrointestinal pain. It's a bitter, so it will stimulate the appetite. It's calming. It's useful for irritable bowel syndrome, nervous indigestion, and colitis. Its iridoid glycosides activate female hormones. So anyways, Vervain, this is not verbena. Okay, that is something completely different, like lemon verbena. It is not the same as Vervain. Vervain is Verbena officinalis. This is why it gets confusing. And lemon verbena is actually Aloysia trifala. So, I know. Don't you hate it? Like when, who's naming these plants? Watch out or I'm going to rename everybody. This is Susan. This is Patty. This is Veronica. But for our purposes this week, we are hanging out with Vervain. So hopefully she's going to help us get some quiet headspace. She likes to grow on the ditches, but she also likes to grow by bubbly creeks. So it's like kind of like nature being like, if your mind is always gurgling and bubbling and moving, you got to be able to find that stillness within yourself. The Druids loved this plant. They just used it for everything. But yeah, it is calming to an overstressed nervous system. And it is good for colds and flu. And it will encourage milk production in nursing mothers. So after you have that baby, you can take it. If you have a poor appetite or tension, diarrhea, coughs, good for all of that. Just not pregnant women or the low thyroiders. Sorry. What else can I say? I don't know. You can grow it in the garden, and it's kind of spindly looking here. Now, when I saw it in the ditch, it was like tall and mighty, sticking up. Like it wanted me to see it. It is so cool. And then after a year when it was so dusty, you know what I did? I took it out on the porch and I lit it on fire like an incense, and it crackled and popped and like kind of reminded me of those 4th of July Chinese charcoal snakes that you lit and then it kind of grew. I don't know why it reminded me of that kind of. And it was the herb of prophecy for the mystic sages of Persia. So that's kind of interesting. Butterflies and bees love it. So plant it for the pollinators. It is tall. So plant it in the center of a circular herb garden because it's pretty tall, or in the back of the border of a bed. So wherever, put Vervain where you want the height, because I think it can be like up to 3 feet tall. Yeah, I'd say the stuff I saw was definitely a yardstick tall. Definitely, because it was sticking up. So anyways, that's my nerdiness. That's enough. Let me tell you about the 4 cards that we get to hang out with here on the winter solstice. Today, Spirit had me up super duper early so that I would stay on track with reading A Course in Miracles. I finished chapter 26 today. I just uploaded a video on my YouTube saying how proud I was of myself, but also get ready because 2021 is right around the corner and I expect everyone to do the lessons with me. At least on my YouTube channel. And seriously, you too. Why not? What the hell else are you doing? Like, you don't have a fucking game plan for 2021. You don't. Let's just be honest. So you might as well entertain the lessons in a curious way and just see what you think of them or how they do's it in your brain. Because that's how I approached A Course in Miracles, as a total skeptic. And I did not read the book. I was like, I don't think so. But I did humor Tina Louise Spalding and did one lesson every day with her. And I just, even though a lot of times I was like, what the hell is this? What? Like, I fill in the blank. Whatever negative word you want to use, fill it in the blank. There were some lessons I was like, this is a crock of shit. But I just kept with it because I could feel that my ego was getting a little bit like loosened. And I liked that because I understood that it was my ego that was holding me in hatred, resentment, separation, and holding me back from my blessings. So my personal reasons was definitely to get more forgiving and to undo my restrictions for myself. And so, yeah, that was my reasoning for it. But there's a lot of other reasons too why you might want to do it. You know, salvation, getting closer to God, all that shit. But like for me, it was like, let's not be as much of a bitch. Let's finally let go of things. And Tina Louise Spalding said that it was because of her study of the Course in Miracles that got her mind opened up enough that she was able to channel. She was able to channel higher dimensional beings and then eventually Jesus. But it was more like the galactic perspective that definitely I was like, well, if I'm ever going to bring in more of my higher self or other beings, because that does kind of interest me, but I would always want it to be authentic in my mind anyways. And honestly, my mind was just too closed to even think about any of that. So after I did the lessons, even my oracle readings got way better because I learned how to get the hell out of my own way and let spirit come in more and more. And it's still a process, but there's just definitely a ton of reasons why it serves me. And then this year in 2020, it's been such fuckery all year. Reading the book has brought me comfort. So anyways, there's your pre-invitation. I'll only invite you like 1 billion more times. But anyways, that's what I'm doing. And you are invited, absolutely. Because yeah, I just know you don't have anything else going on. So why not? All right, Vervain. 4 really cool cards. We have the 6 of Swords from the Herbal Tarot. We have number 31 from the Flowers Oracle. That is a Bach flower remedy, a flower essence. We have a Plant Spirit Oracle, Blue Vervain, about love, relationship, and union. And then we have the Herbiary Vervain, Let Magic In. I know, and every single one of them has either like a bluish purple aspect to it. So we have a lot of this, here I am talking about forgiveness, and this herb makes me think of that. Colors like violet, the violet flame, right? Forgiveness, letting things go, opening up your heart, being closer to everyone and everything, letting the magic in. The flower essence Victorian lady, she has her hand on her heart chakra, like on her chest. Like just take a nice deep sigh. That's what Vervain wants you to do. Put your hand on your chest and just kind of, settle down a bit, calm down, clear out, let your mind unclutter and empty, and quiet your headspace. Okay, quiet your headspace, quiet your anxiety. Even though I look at the 6 of Swords, and there's 6 swords on a boat headed out to sea, that could be an anxiety trigger for some of us. Whether we're looking from the shore or we're in the boat, it seems like the perspective is we are watching the 6 swords leave. And there's a little Vervain arcing on the top edge of the card. Yeah, Vervain lady on the flower essence. She's sitting and kind of like, all right, I'm going to tone it down a tiny bit, sit here calmly, but yet she's full of something, whether it be life or energy, awareness. Her eyes are wide open. Blue Vervain on the plant spirit is in the shape of a heart. There's a heart above waters. So definitely acknowledging the emotional realm, definitely acknowledging the head space too. And yet we've got this symbol of love. And then there's two Vervains on either side of the heart, embracing it, growing around it. So there's Vervain in the heart and around the heart. I love all the spirals in the water, suggesting movement and flow. And then we have, wow, the Let the Magic In. That's a cool card too. There's a mountains way in the background. Ooh, and there's like, the Vervains are crisscrossing and creating like almost like a Celtic knot looking thing. So there's different sections of this picture now. There's the night sky above the arc, and then in the circle there are morning, afternoon, evening maybe. It seems like there's different times of the day. But let magic in. Very interesting. That would be very interesting. So that always sparks the question, well, what's not letting it in? It's like there's all this love and union here for you. And if you don't have it, you have to say, well, what's not letting it in? So anyways, lots of heart feelings already just looking at these cards. And man, I think we better start off with the Six of Swords though, because what is that all about? Verbena officinalis, Mercury in Aquarius. That's what it's all about. Vervain, Six of Swords. So yeah, there's this like little like Italian looking little boat, and there's six swords. They're traveling on this boat. I guess they're headed for a far off shore. Now the sun, which can be looked at as rising or setting, indicates a new cycle beginning or an old cycle ending. So it's kind of like, well, how does it look to you? I would have said beginning. It seems more like pink morning beginning sky. But if somebody looked at it and thought maybe, oh, sun's going down, right? I see the sun is coming up, but somebody else might see it as going down. It depends. It just depends whether you are beginning a new cycle or ending an old cycle. And some might not know what the heck's going on because, right, you're doing both. Yeah, which is usually the case. So the journey into a different way of viewing things has begun. A new perspective is unfolding. So this is The Spirit of Herbs by Michael Tierra. I'm on page 171. Yeah, new perspective is unfolding. Perspectives can and do change. That's why it's just your perspective. You can't even call it the truth really, because it's just changes all the damn time. But it is what it is. So a new perspective is unfolding. Allowing the old views to leave will expose a fresh approach. Be willing to let go of the cobwebs in the mind. A new location or job or a journey may be necessary to throw one into the new perspective more completely. However, just the willingness to allow thoughts to be open to change may be sufficient. So you might have to have your whole life rocked or something new, or it's like being thrown into a brand new situation to help you change your perspective. But for some people, it's just if you're just a little willing, just a willingness to allow your thoughts to be open to change. Try to step back from your problems. Try to step back from situations that don't feel good, or, so that you can get a clearer perspective, so that you can obtain a clearer perspective. So yeah, you can't really see the solution if you're immersed in the problem. Sometimes you gotta step back. This card, this Six of Swords, might be about traveling in the mind or in the body. New shores approaching, new opportunities coming your way. It could be about fear of change or a need to relax during the ride. So yeah, I totally was like, I don't know if I feel okay watching this, like if there's like a sadness or anxiety as you're watching the swords go away, right? That's some indication that you might want to change the perspective in your mind so you can get out of that fear. Maybe you just need to relax. Maybe this is an exciting picture. This is like dun 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 dun. Here we go, right? New shores approaching, new opportunities coming your way. So there's a lot of different ways to look at the Six of Swords, depending on where you're at. If you see it as a rising or a setting sun, how it makes you feel when you look at it. Are you open to changing your perspective or not? Do you have anxiety or not? Fear of change or not? So a good affirmation that comes with this is, I open myself to different perspectives about my life. I ride in the boat of inner faith. Perfect. So yesterday we hung out with our last archangel, our last Angelic Herbs podcast, Archangel Uriel. He wrapped it up for us, our little journey, with those special episodes of 2020. And he wants us to shine our light and be in perfect faith and perfect willingness. Like, his advice to us was, enter this solstice and this new year with like an amplified willingness. So I related it to A Course in Miracles. Like, I did the lessons in 2019, half-ass. But now my advice from Spirit is to really, really do them in 2021 and just see what happens. So it's sort of like, really try, really put forth, really ride in the boat of inner faith. Don't just have a little faith here and there. Like, actually ride in the boat of inner faith. And so that was the message yesterday. Like, come on now. Archangel Uriel being like, come on now, shine your light with the world. Because apparently today, Archangel Uriel is a Southern cowboy. Nice. All right. So if you don't have Vervain, you could try Feverfew or Buplurium or Feverfew, or just get some Vervain. Now, let's talk about spiritually, because I feel like that's probably going to be what I'm most interested in. I mean, not that, okay, medicinally, it's very, very interesting too. Okay, absolutely. So we'll recap all the medicinal things it can do, and we will remember, not for pregnant mamas, it is a uterine stimulant. But spiritually, the history of Vervain is quite fascinating. Priests called it herba sacra because it was used for sacrifices. Ugh. The Celts used it in their anointing waters for purification during rites and rituals. Magicians and sorcerers employed an ointment of Vervain, and many wore the bruised plant around the neck to prevent headaches, to help with sight, and to protect against venomous bites. It was stated that the plant opens the inner eye to other dimensions of reality. All right, so in modern times today, uh, please, no sacrifices, okay? Hard pass, no, thank you on that. But you can find a place for it again, okay? Um, in seeking to see things from a different perspective by opening up the sixth chakra or the third eye. It will aid in releasing congested thinking, thus revealing new possibilities. A calmer, clearer mind is always welcomed when new energies and situations are emerging. All right. So here we are on the winter solstice. Oh, you thought I was going to take this week off? Why? Because Christmas? Who cares? Oh, hell no. I'm still showing up. I have to. All right. So, Vervain is an excellent herb to physically induce sweating. So it's good for fevers and coughs, and it will help unblock constrained energy in the liver. And if there's any energy dredges in the kidneys, it'll help all that. If your menstrual cycle is delayed, it will help that. It will help nervousness. It will also help things like urinary problems, hepatitis, jaundice, insufficient mother's milk, liver congestion, and mastitis. So it's got a lot of physical uses. But yeah, aren't the spiritual, energetic ones very interesting? Like opening up the third eye, clearing your mind, getting rid of congested thinking. I really did find it interesting when it said magicians and sorcerers employed an ointment of vervain. So now I want to put it actually on. I'll probably be rubbing this tincture on my forehead later, just to see. Haha, third eye jokes. Just to see, just to see what happens. Let's see what else we can do with it. We can take a few drops of the herbal essence, especially if we need to look at something differently, or we need to look at it from a different perspective or from a different dimension of reality. We're like, all right, I need to get some insight, see this differently. Here's sometimes it's like when you have a situation, you're like, is there something I'm not seeing about this? Like last night, my son, he asked me a riddle. He was like, Mom, he's like, so you have a fox, a chicken, and some corn, and you have to get across the river, but you can only take one thing at a time. How do you do it so you get all three across to the other side? And at first it seems impossible, because like you could take the chicken across, okay, right? So the chicken gets across. Well, then it's like, well, if you take the corn next, it'll eat the corn, but if you take the fox next, the fox will eat the chicken. And so I was like, oh my God, Aiden, I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like I was freaking out because my small mind could not think like in what order to take these three things, a chicken, a fox, and some corn, across the river. And because like in however order you do it, it seems like it's not going to work out. Well, then he was like, well, you have unlimited trips. And I was like, what? Here, you're allowed to like come back and forth holding something. And then it friggin' made sense. You know what I mean? So here's how you solve that riddle. You take the chicken across first. Then you go back and you get the corn. And you bring the corn across the river. Well, then you grab the chicken again and you take the chicken back to the other side. And then I just lost it because I didn't know I was allowed to do that. And then you drop off the chicken and you grab the fox and you take the fox over, and he's going to sit with the corn and he's not going to eat the corn, the hard corn. Then you go back and finally get the chicken again. So anyways, I was kind of upset with myself that I didn't see that because logically, if it were a real life situation, I would hope that I could figure that shit out. Maybe I needed to take my blue Vervain before he asked me these riddles. If he ever asked me another one, I'll just go be like, hold up, let me go get my blue Vervain tincture. I'll take a dropper of it and rub some on my forehead, and I'll be like, okay, go. And then he can ask me, and I'll see if I can see it from a different perspective. But anyways, it was kind of funny. So anyways, you could just wear it. Some people wore Vervain around their neck as a charm, an amulet. You can make a standard infusion, a tea, a tincture. You can take it up to 3 times a day. You can use Vervain as an ointment, a poultice, or a wash. You make the tea and you wash your skin with it. So it's good for wounds and bruises and sprains, anything painful. It's good for all that. So that's from the Spirit of Herbs. Definitely like giving us some good insight about our herb of the week, Vervain, and also the 6 of Swords. So apparently like everyone since forever knew that Vervain was special. Magicians, sacrificing priests, ugh, gross. Disgusting. Bach flower essence guy. What was his name? Edward. Let me see. Let's go on to that. Let's see here. Was it Edward Bach? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Edward Bach. He was a physician in 1912-ish. He was born in 1886. So yeah, I mean, like, yeah, the Druids, witches, wizards, hello, everybody'd be using Vervain. So is it kind of not a surprise that everybody's doesn't know about it in 2020? Because like this is the time when people have been asleep for quite a while. So I think it's ready. I think Vervain's ready to make a comeback. Of course, a lot of herbalists have never forgotten a Vervain, and good for you. But for the majority of people, they've probably never even heard of it. And yeah, I feel like Vervain is going to become more popular as people decide that they want more unity consciousness. They want to change their perspectives from separation and hate and divisiveness and duality into something more loving, more clear seeing, more peaceful, more quiet, more magical. So yeah, that's just my prediction on Vervain. It should be gaining popularity in 2021 and definitely 2022. Okay, you ready? Number 31 is Vervain of the Flowers Oracle by Antonella Castelli. These are the Bach flower remedies, all 38 of them. And Vervain says, your enthusiasm is a sacred fire. Your enthusiasm is a sacred fire. Respect it and nurture it carefully. In this way, neither you nor others will burn with the flames of your passion. Tame the fire to heat the earth. So when we think about the type A perfectionists, who literally they are just go, 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 they will usually burn themselves up in the process. Their adrenals get shot. They just literally have a nervous breakdown, full of anxiety. They would like to stop, but they can't. They get to that point. They don't know how to relax. They're the type that would never sign up for a yoga class. Like, they just have too much shit to do. And Vervain's like, yeah, you are passionate, you're enthusiastic, but you better respect it and nurture it so that you don't get burnt up or burnt out, and you don't burn others in your flaming path of glory. You know, it's like, wow. So she's got her heart. She's tempering, like, yeah, is that the word? Tempering, taming the flames, tempering the fire. She knows where it's coming from. She's got a heart full of passion. She understands that her enthusiasm is a sacred fire, and she's just keeping it in check, keeping it flaming, but not out of control. You know, it's like if you've ever had a backyard fire and it almost gets to that point where you're like, oh shit, give me the hose. This seems like it's getting a little bit out of control. I know people who, yeah, it has gotten out of control, and then they had to call a fire company because it just, like, that can, fire. I don't have to explain this to you. So you too have fire within you. And yeah, it is fire, honey. So you got to keep it under control. And you don't want to let it go out either. So it's like you got to respect it and nurture it. And yeah, honor those flames. Honor that energy. Your enthusiasm is a sacred fire. So I haven't done this in a while for these cards. It's 11:55, master numbers. But I'm going to see if I still have these apps on my phone. I do. The Mary Pure and the Bach Flower. I have 2 apps on my iPhone. I just want to open them up. No, you're not allowed to send me notifications. Hello, how do you feel today? It's none of your business. But there is, they changed the app. But I wanted to look up Vervain. Oh, they have a test now to see which flower is right for you. Oh, I'll have to come back. I just want to see what it says about Vervain. Here in this app, it is the flower of balance. Flower of balance. I am enthusiastic, but not blind. I am determined, but not inflexible. So this flower essence of Vervain is when you want to leave behind over eagerness, self-sacrifice, right? And you want to find healthy enthusiasm and dedication. That is how you would use Vervain. Now let me go to Marie Pure and see what she says about Vervain. It's for when you're being overly enthusiastic, you're wanting to convince or convert too much. Sadie Marie Cherico. If you have a strong sense of justice, if you're a world improver, depredation on your body caused by obsession. So it's like it will help you with many aspects of your life. If you feel exhaustion of your body due to fanaticism. So this is actually my flower. If I want to keep going and not get burnt up, this is a good herbal ally for me to connect with this week and for the new year. Intrusive, missionary, or do-gooder behavior. So yeah, if I get a little bit too proclamation up in your face about things, I might need to take this so that I can back off and let you have your own perspective, right? And if for people who are like just feeling like they have to fight for the weak all the time and they just have this strong sense of justice, not that that's a bad thing, but if it becomes debilitating or obsessive or wanting to persuade or convert others too much, if you're a little too overly enthusiastic, Vervain can help you leave that over-eagerness behind, get out of self-sacrifice, and come into a place within your mind that's a healthy enthusiasm, a healthy dedication, a healthy fire, a safe fire, a healthy fire, one that doesn't burn you or others. All right, so that is our Bach flower. Very interesting. What do you think? This is Vervain. This is our herb of the week. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, well, I guess we're going right to left. I'm going right to left in order that I've had these out. So now we'll go to the Plant Spirit Oracle by Dana O'Driscoll, and she just posted an awesome blog on her blog, because that's where you post your blogs, on your blog, for visionary herbs. Yeah. And she is such a smart lady, and I enjoy reading her posts so much. She's almost too smart for me, if I'm being honest, but I tolerate her. That's a joke. Okay, Blue Vervain is her card here, and you can find her at Plant Spirit Oracle, or just look up her name, Dana O'Driscoll. She's on Instagram. She has a blog. She did the Tree Tarot deck, and now she has this Plant Spirit Oracle, and yeah, they're both pretty cool. I only have the app of the Tree Tarot, but it looks cool. Okay, so love, relationships, union. That's why the joke is I tolerate you, because my personal ambitions in my relationships and unions and love is to get more genuine connections and less I tolerate you connections, which is so funny to me because I'm reading the Course in Miracles and it wants me to be connected to everybody, but my ego wants to just be a hermit, of course, and like tolerance is as good as it gets. And so the Course in Miracles challenges me on a daily basis. All right, now Blue Vervain. It's a delightful plant in the Verbena family that is often found at the edge of water, sunny or partly shaded areas. I found it in a ditch alongside a road, which excited me so much. It has dark green opposite leaves. It's got dark purple spikes like the flowers, tiny ring of blooming medium purple flowers. Now here Dana says it can be 3 to 6 feet tall. That makes way more sense to me than the digits that I read at the beginning off of that old thing that was in the nerdy folder. Man, it seems like it can get taller. Yeah, 3 to 6 feet is more about what I saw it. Yeah, I would say. It often comes in after disturbance. So that's why it likes the ditches and where they dig and disturb the soil. It's known as Blue Vervain, Blue Verbena, or wild hyssop to some people. And for millennia, it has been tied to relationships of all kinds. And so, yeah, in this card from the Plant Spirit Oracle, it is such a sweetheart. This is the sweetest card, absolutely. With this beautiful heart and by the water's edge, and it just feels like a coming together. It feels very wholesome because there's like as above, so below hearts within the heart. It's really kind of hard to explain. There's 3 vervains in the heart. I don't know, that kind of makes me think of like, the Trinity energy. And then this heart is surrounded and protected by more vervain. It's really awesome. So Blue Vervain represents love and long-term unions. It may be that love is in the air or that your current query concerns love. This card represents the bringing together of like minds and hearts for mutual benefit. So I like that. I like that like mind stuff because I'll just have to keep going back to it. But A Course in Miracles is all about having our minds connect. Understanding that it's not the body's job. Our bodies are just they have a lot of nothingness, truly. We can use them as a forms of communication, but it is the mind that we want to connect with each other. So if you and I are of like mind, we can have a union, and then within that union, we can put our intentions to put more love into the planet, put more love into this reality. And that's how we do that. It happens all the time for opposite reasons. Look how many like minds might come together for a UFC fight. Or yeah, even a football game is very aggressive. But yeah, if you have a fight, a UFC fight or a wrestling fight or something, and all those like minds have come together in the name of violence. So the mind is very powerful, and if we want to add positivity into the world, we need to actually start connecting more and coming together more, and using the power of the mind, mastermind. There is power in numbers, absolutely, and focus and intent and alignment and all of that. So love, coming together for mutual benefit, the benefit of the all. I'm feeling that with Vervain. So this Vervain, this blue Vervain, is going to represent relationships of all kinds. So like-mindedness is not just romantic. I mean, it is every type of relationship, friendships, family, kin relationships, professional relationships, and yes, of course, romantic relationships. So Vervain wants you to consider your relationships, the part that they play, and how you might need to attend to them when you draw this card. So the Six of Swords was all about your perspective, and sometimes you definitely do need to change your perspective or open your mind in your partnerships, in your relationships, and see if you can improve upon them or make them more holy or make them more useful or make them more, beneficial to the world. Union, blue Vervain represents union of all kinds. So Dana explains that as a plant whose roots are deep in the water, and whose purple flowers reach to the heavens, we might see blue Vervain as bringing the different parts together to create a cohesive whole. So consider the ways in which unity may be central to your issue at hand. So all about unity this week, and staying grounded, but yet, reaching for the heavens, absolutely. Yeah, and that's kind of what you want all your partnerships and unions and relationships to be about. You want them to be full of love and groundedness and clarity and as much heaven as you can get into them, right? Because if they're not of heaven, they're of hell. And I'm literally making a joke, you know what I mean? Like, you can have some terrible relationships. You can have some work relationships that literally feel like hell. Wouldn't it be nice to make them better? To have partnerships made in heaven, right, that you enjoy. So to do that, you'll need to change your perspective, probably. Yeah, for sure. All right, so what else did we talk about? Herbalism. In our Herb of the Week, Vervain. It's good for type A's, so people who are high-strung, who hold themselves very rigid with lists and order, people who are overworked and overstressed. Vervain is going to help because it's a superior nervine. It's going to help the nerves, literally. If you are stressed out and it's giving you stomach stress, especially when unresolved emotions are causing your gastrointestinal issues, let us look into Vervain for you. Maybe a tea, maybe a little bit of tincture, maybe even an ointment that you rub on your belly. It also supports a healthy menstrual cycle and helps with some PMS issues. So I really could have used it like all weekend. You could put it in your bath. She has a recipe here for a blue Vervain bath soak. Because it works on nervous tension, including tension in your shoulders and neck, You could add some of the dried flowers and leaves and stems to some Epsom salts, which I actually hate for baths for myself. I don't like the way I don't like it. So I would just probably make some tea. You could add some lavender flowers too. I would probably just make tea and then add the tea into my bath. But if you wanted to do Epsom salts because you like that, then you can do that as well. Sea salt would be better for me. I don't know what it is about Epsom salt, but it just bites at me. It bites me, literally. I don't like it. Like, I cannot relax in a bath that is biting me. All right. Anyways, you dissolve the salts and then you add the flowers and let them steep, and you let them offer you respite from tension and soreness. But seriously, I would probably just make a tea and pour it in there, and then you don't have any flowers to clean out of your bathtub or clog your drain. Sorry, we've got drainage issues here. You're not allowed to put flowers in the bathtub. You make the tea first, and then you add it to your bath. All right, let's take an hour break. All right, little Christmas surprise at the door. My beautiful Lorraine. Okay, so we got one card left. The Herbiary by Maya Toll. This is 36 Bewitching Botanicals. And dang, I opened right up to Vervain. Okay, so it's Verbena officinalis. It's Vervain. I love the book because it's like a full color, full page of this image, and you really get to see all the detail that's in the picture. And I literally feel like now I'm in front of this mountain. Yeah, because now that I'm right in front of it, I see that I have 3 paths to choose from. Dang, yeah, I see that in the card now too, but it's bigger and in my face. And I'm like, okay, which one do I want to choose? Vervain whispers of enchantment in worlds not quite seen. She'll teach you to see beyond the ordinary and help you explore the liminal lands of the psyche. Through her easy access to the in-between, she can call in the medicine of plants not present, making her a must for any healer's garden. Ask Vervain to channel her sisters and hold their place in a tea blend or incense. But remember, even though she is wispy, Vervain is very powerful. A sip of her tea is magical. A cup, nauseating. Why? Because too much mystery puts us off balance. Think of it as motion sickness of the soul. So let Vervain dance lightly on the edges of your consciousness, reminding you of the infinite possibilities that unfold when you let magic in. Whoa. So it seems like we saved the best one for last. Yeah, holding the place of other energies and blends and channeling energy and spirits. And we already talked about opening up your third eye with Vervain and seeing different perspectives. And so, yeah, this is amazing. So in this book, Maya always has a ritual and a reflection for each of the botanicals. The ritual for Vervain: study the interstitial. Big word, girl. And then the reflection is standing at the crossroads. All right, so Celtic lore, she's going to talk about the Druids too. The Druids harvested Vervain when neither the sun nor the moon was in the sky. These magical times occur almost daily. We call them dawn and dusk. Vervain's medicine is the medicine of these interstitial times and of liminal places, doorways, crossroads, and the place where the sea foam curls onto the beach. The way to truly understand her is to hone your knowledge of the in-between. So, when was the last time you truly took in those moments when night slips into day or day into night? So there's a bit of magic and mystery in those times of the day. So the ritual is just for like 3 days this week. Choose to observe this, either the sunrise or the sunset or both. Carve out 10 minutes to stand under the sky, holding Vervain in your heart. So be like the lady on the Bach flower. Put your hand on your heart and think of the spirit of Vervain. Hold Vervain in your heart as you absorb the magic of the in-between. Whew, just let it out. Hold her and let everything else out. If you have something weighing on your mind, be open to the possibility of unexpected answers. So yeah, like perspectives you had not thought about, like the whole fox, chicken, and corn riddle, problem solving, logic, quest, right? I was literally like stumped. Like, I don't think there's a right answer for this, but there was. So sometimes we have to understand that can happen in our life too. We're totally stumped. We're like, we're fucked and there's nothing we can do about it. Well, actually, there's always a solution. Yep. So standing at the crossroads, it's like, yeah, sometimes you got to make a decision and you got to take a new road. Like, I may have wanted to go to the left towards the sun, but actually I should maybe take a different road. Maybe I should go towards the right and then meet up with the sun later today. You know, it's like sometimes we just don't know. So we got to be open to knowing more clearly, or maybe knowing something different. So the ancient mystics venerated the in-between and the interstitial. Am I even saying that right? I've never, ever, ever used that word on my own. Thank you, Maya, for expanding my vocabulary. Interstitial as places where possibilities overlap, creating the perfect petri dish for synchronicity and magic. I mean, people love sunsets. They love them. And there are some people who love the sunrises. I mean, I love looking out and catching the sunrise and it being like hot pink just for like 30 seconds. Like I swear it does not last for hardly a minute, but it's awesome. These places are often called crossroads because there, instead of continuing on your current path, you could choose to make a hard turn and explore the unknown. And if you hung out with me last week, I think twice, or within the last 2 weeks, definitely, the idea that humans can make a hard sharp left turn out of nowhere. It happens. We're capable of it, and sometimes it's for the best. Sometimes it's like, dang, we didn't think we were going to do that, but we did it, and aren't we glad? So in mythology, crossroads have a guardian because major life changes often require the death of an old way of being, and humans need guidance or a trial to help them through this rite of passage. If you were standing at a crossroads today, what would you be willing to leave behind to take a new road? Good question. So let's just say you're at a crossroads right now, today, on the winter solstice. Let's say you got 2 paths to take. You're at a crossroads. What would you be willing to leave behind to take a new road? So let's just say you've been on the path to hell. Oh, hey, look, there's the path to heaven. What would you be willing to leave behind? Would you be willing to leave all of these illusions and nothingness behind? Would you be willing to leave 2020 behind? Would you be willing to leave judgment, hatred, divisiveness, separation, agony, sacrifice, bullshit? Would you be willing to leave all this behind for a new path, a new road, right? A better road? And it's like, duh, yeah, I would. But why don't we sometimes? I just feel like it's like sometimes we just hold on to what we're familiar with or something. It's like this whole love card, relationships that actually could be of union and appreciating each other's perspectives and full of passion and new possibilities. Like, it sounds good, but then like there you are at the crossroads. Are you going or not? Will you take that new path? Or are you going to chicken out? Do you need me to carry you across the river, you chicken? I know how to do it now so that the fox doesn't eat you and you don't eat the corn. I got it all figured out now. I'll do it. But you know what? Truly, you need to choose for yourself. So there is a little bit of interesting history here in her book about guardians and guides who stand at crossroads. And they've all got names that I don't know how to pronounce, so I'm just going to skip this shit. All right, well, it's going to be fun hanging out with me the week of Christmas. Are you sure you want to do this? Maybe you want to skip Vervain. Anyways, let's do some affirmations and then, be open. Be open to the energy of Vervain. Showing us how to let the magic in. This affirmation minute is brought to you by our magical herb of the week, Vervain, and I lovingly dedicate them all to you. Thank you. My enthusiasm is a sacred fire. I ride the boat of inner faith. I open myself to different perspectives about my life, relationships, and love. I experience union and magic in the world. I choose a more loving path for myself. My enthusiasm is a sacred fire. I ride the boat of inner faith. I open myself to different perspectives about my life, relationships, and love. I experience union and magic in the world. I choose a more loving path for myself. And so it is. So that's it. This is our 44th herb of the week. Yeah, that feels pretty special too, doesn't it? Number 44. Wow, Vervain. I'm excited to see how we hang out with her and what she brings in tomorrow when we do a tarot reading. Wednesday, we're going to manifest more wisdom, of course. What else would we do with Vervain? Thursday, we'll hang out with the trees, and Friday, maybe do something fun. I think one of those days is Christmas. I guess apparently it doesn't matter to me. Bitch, I'm timeless. I'm still doing my podcast. I have 2 weeks to finish out. Actually, no, this is the last week of 2020 officially. And then next week, I'm just getting started. 2021, I got you, honey. I'm grabbing you by the whoop whoop, and we're doing this. So anyways, hang out with me or not. Enjoy your winter solstice or not. Have a great holiday or not. But I'm thinking it's all gonna feel pretty good, and I'm excited to share it with you. All right, see you soon.